Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We are taking a look today at the semi-final Stanley Cup playoff matchup between Les Canadiens of Montreal against your Vegas Golden Knights. We'll be looking at this series, and I will be giving my predictions for this series in this video. So let's get right into it. There is a lot of big storylines going into this series. You have two really good teams. You look at the Montreal Canadiens, first round series, they're down 3-1 to the Leafs. Nobody even gave them a chance. What do? They come back, win that series in 7 games. Absolutely stunning. They play the Winnipeg Jets. Everybody was expecting them to get killed by the Jets, who had just come off sweeping the Oilers. Yeah, nobody even thought that the Habs would sweep the Jets. Let's be honest. There was nobody. Come on, let's be honest. Even Habs fans, you can't not tell me you thought you were going to sweep the Jets. But anyway, they sweep the Jets. They're on a 7-game winning streak in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's a little bit frightening if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, but the Golden Knights have had their own bit of a threat here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. In the first round, they played the Wild. They were up 3-1 in that series. And they ended up letting the Wild come back in, a young, inexperienced Wild team. They ended up winning that series in 7 games. But now you take on the Colorado Avalanche in the second round, a very, very big matchup, not only for Knights and Avs fans, but for the entire NHL. Everybody wanted to see the Knights go up against the Avalanche in the playoffs, and we got a little bit of that. The Golden Knights didn't start that series off the way they probably would have liked, losing the first 2 games, but they stormed back, win 4 straight, and that's it. Now they're singing Viva Las Vegas, and they are heading to the semifinals against the Habs. So the big storyline going into this series is in between the pipes. You look at in between the pipes, you have Carey Price and Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 very good goaltenders in their own right. And let's be honest, this is the reason these 2 teams are still standing. They have just been able to outduel the other goaltender. Fleury in the first round, Cam Talbot, I mean, you could say for the last couple years, okay, that's a low flex, but Cam Talbot had a really good season this year. Even in the postseason, there were a couple games he played really well. And then in the second round, you had Philip Grubauer, who everybody was touting as a very good goalie. And then on the other side, Carey Price had to deal with Jack Campbell in Toronto. Okay, you can make your argument there. Maybe not the best matchup. But then in the second round, taking on Connor Hellebuyck, who is in the Vezina finalist conversation this year, probably a pretty good goalie. So the way Price has played this year has been absolutely huge for the Montreal Canadiens. And now that the Habs are starting to actually score goals, they are making a little bit of noise here in the playoffs. So now another big storyline is Phillip Denno. Now, he is a unrestricted free agent this summer, which means he's going to be looking to make some bank this summer. He's playing his best hockey right now for the Habs, and you can expect him to be playing against the big boys in Vegas. Talking about that line with Carlson, Marchessault, and Alex Tuch. Expect that to be a bit of a storyline going throughout this playoffs. But I'm expecting a very good series here from Phillip Denno, a big shutdown center, and he's going to really be a pain in the ass for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he has to if they're going to have a chance. Another big storyline is the special teams. It always is. I always bring this up, but you always want to look at the penalty kill versus the power play. And specifically, the Montreal Canadiens penalty kill against the Vegas Golden Knights PP. And yes, that is a very big factor in this series. The Vegas Golden Knights power play, one of the best in the league, and it has been a terror for the first 2 teams that the Knights have had to play, in the Avs and the Wild. Another storyline is the Habs youth. We're seeing the young guys, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki. They're starting to make a difference and really make some big contributions to Dominic Ducharme's young Habs team, and they're buying into the system. They're playing a modified trap, a more modern version of the trap game, and they're making things difficult for their opponents. Meanwhile, for the Knights, you have the grit factor, and you could argue that the Habs have a little bit of that. They have Shea Weber, Joel Edmondson, very big defenseman on the back end. Even, maybe you can make the argument a guy like Paul Byron, I don't know, maybe. And then you also have guys like Corey Perry down there as well that will be a little bit of a destruction for the Habs. But again, against the young guys, who are playing more minutes for the Habs, you're going to see a lot of guys like William Carrier, Ryan Reeves, Patrick Brown, Kale Colasar, some of the big boys for the Golden Knights trying to wear down some of the Habs young guys in the lineup. And then the last big thing is we're going to see Max Patcheretti, the former captain of the Montreal Canadiens, play his former team in the Montreal Canadiens, which part of that deal was Nick Suzuki, who was playing, I would say, pretty good for the Montreal Canadiens, one of their top centers, if not their top center at this point. So we're going to see the reunition of those two teams playing each other in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which in a normal season you probably wouldn't see till the Stanley Cup final. But we get a little bit of that action here in the semis, and I think it's going to be a really good storyline. If Max Pacioretty has a hat trick in Game 7, don't say anything to me, but I kind of called it. So we'll see what happens with that. So now my predictions. Listen, you're looking at two very good teams. The Montreal Canadiens have been doubted throughout this entire playoffs, just like another team on the East Coast as well, and the Islanders. But I just don't see it. I have to go with the Vegas Golden Knights in 7 games. I think the Habs will be able to stick with this team. I think if the Golden Knights can't get that goal scoring early and get things going in their direction the way they want early on, the Habs will wear you down. And I think that's something that we saw in the first round series against the Leafs, and maybe to a lesser extent against the Jets in the second round. You know, the way that teams have been treating the Habs, they've been treating them as an underdog that shouldn't even be in the postseason. They backed their way into the playoffs. But you know what? Dominic Ducharme, give him a ton of credit. He has really made the most of this team. But at the end of the day, Pete DeBoer and the Golden Knights have the experience, and I have to go with the Golden Knights winning this thing in 7 games. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Who do you think will win this series between the Montreal Canadiens and the Vegas Golden Knights? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more Stanley Cup playoffs coverage just like this, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.